Welcome to the next webinar, Open Virtualization Pro. Today guest is again Jacek Skrzyński. We have some set of the webinars about Red Hat Virtualization and Ansible.
Yes.
But right now it's to get the next move and talk about the Red Hat infrastructure.
Hyperconverged infrastructure.
Hyperconverged infrastructure.
And
Gosh,
to be 100% specific, hyperconverged infrastructure for virtualization.
Okay. HCI or RHHI.
Yeah.
Oh, it's really difficult. So today's goal is to present you what Red Hat has in their shop and what's the idea in the technology behind the hyperconverged. Okay, Jacek. So I think let's start.
Yep. So thank you for having me today. And as Paweł mentioned, our today main topic is Red Hat Hyperconverged Infrastructure for virtualization. So what is that? And this is going to be like a main topic, just to introduce you to this technology, what components are inside, what is aimed for, what is the main goal to think even about such a hyper-converged infrastructure. Okay, so let's get started. We already did that, should we?
Yeah, go on.
Jacek Skrzyński, a Red Hat solution architect responsible for the infrastructure part portfolio. And as you can see, bikes and valuable, which I didn't put here some icon or picture, but this is also my favorite discipline of sport.
Okay, you don't see, but Jacek is definitely taller than I. But you know, I have my methods to be as equal as should be.
Yeah.
So a few words about me.
Okay.
So my name is Paweł. I'm the CTO of the Storware. My passion is the mountains and the guitars. You can see some stuff behind me. Yeah. But definitely I'm always, we use #backup monsters, so we're trying to get the best things done from the backup data protection perspective, most related to the Red Hat technology, yes.
Yep, exactly.
Okay, let's go for it.
Okay, so let's start from the basics. So when we talk about virtualization or hyperconverge, where the virtualization is actually one of two main players, we need to talk about Red Hat Virtualization, yeah? which is the key component for this hyperconverged infrastructure. As we already present this slide few times, yeah. At least, so you should be familiar with it. There is nothing mysterious behind that, I believe so. There is a KVM as our standard hypervisor. There is also our Red Hat Virtualization Manager, which is the single pane of glass for our virtualization management, yeah? and day-to-day administration task window, I would say. So what else we've got, and what is actually the difference between just a single Red Hat virtualization when we compare it to Red Hat hyperconverged infrastructure? So the main difference is that with hyperconverged we also have one more included, the second player, and it's Gluster Storage. So what is Gluster? Gluster is a software-defined storage, SDN, which is highly available, which can be put on-prem, can be put in a cloud, can be put in our virtualization environment even. Yes, but in this case, we are talking about kind of cooperation between Red Hat Virtualization and Gluster. They can be put on the same hardware together. Mm-hmm. Yes, so this is the idea of hyperconverged.
Okay.
And that's what we've got. So normally when we talk about Gluster, we've got servers, and inside those servers we've got, of course, disks, SSDs, spindles, or both together, and we cut them into kind of bricks. Yes, this is the name for the single piece, which then form a volume spread across different servers. Yes, so that's the idea. And having storage means Gluster together with hypervisor means Red Hat Virtualization. It gives us this hyperconverged infrastructure. Okay? So let's have a look what we've got inside. And when we talk about Gluster, RHEL as a Red Hat operating system, Red Hat Enterprise Linux, is the base ground level together for for virtualization and also for Gluster. So when we talk about those bricks and how we spread them across, this is just purely LVM behind. Yeah? So this is very well-known technology already. I believe it's
never heard about it. Never heard about it.
Okay. You need to improve your knowledge.
I need to finish my studies. That's why. Yeah.
Okay. And then underneath we've got LVM, and then on top of this LVM we cut the bricks basically. Yes. So then we are able to spread a volume on different bricks on different nodes in our storage cluster. So this is all.
Do you have let's say description what actually the hyperconverged means? Because you already said it's packaged, but I guess we're talking about how to put compute, storage, and networking into the one appliances. Yes. So this is one of the major things why we go into this direction. Yes, to make the life easier.
I would elaborate a little bit about this here. Why we think about this? Why this is kind of a hot topic, I would say, in the industry right now. So the main goal is that normally companies, when they would like to go into this virtualization direction, they need to invest in the platform. They need to invest in storage. They need to invest in kind of networking between each of them, together with SAN, for example, storage networks, and LAN for all the.
It's quite a standard for the whole IT industry. Like put a bunch of the storages with the SAN or the DAS or the NAS. Put the servers, networks, and try to play with all of the cables. Put
them together. Yes, but this what it introduced. It introduced a lot of complexity. It introduced also a lot of costs. Imagine some companies, more maybe not big ones, they don't have a proper infrastructure. They would like to go into this virtualization area, explore it, use it, but they don't want to invest a lot, like in a storage device and so on. And the answer for them is hyperconverged, because they can just buy standard commodity servers x86, put some disks into it, and then compose a fully functional virtualization platform.
Jacek, I can see here that you need at least 3 nodes base, yes? So it's a question,
Actually, no.
Okay, go on.
Actually, the minimum standard right now is 1 node.
Okay,
but of course you will lose all the HCI and so on, yes. But
so let's talk about the proper one. So
the proper one should be 3 nodes at least. Yes? So this is the first of all. This is it comes from the storage perspective, that when we lose, let's say, one node, which is together compute and storage in one, we need to still operate. Yes, we don't want to lost our ability to operate. That's why we recommend for the storage replica 3. So every single piece of data are put in one place and replicated twice over 2 additional nodes.
You're also mentioning here the SSD cache. Yeah. Any recommendation here let's say some ratio for how many of the total storage should be on the SSD?
It really depends. But for you, Red Hat also gives you a calculator for that.
Okay.
So you can easily calculate your ratio based on what actually workload you would like to put on it. Yes. So,
okay.
So this is based by, or it depends on the different factors, on different needs. But most of the time you are able to calculate it easily with a Red Hat calculator. So all right. So one more thing is the automated deployment, which is really cool feature. Yes, as you know probably from our previous talks.
You like the automation,
yeah. I like the automation, and I like this product even more because it also relies on Ansible. It's not a mystery in this case. Yes, so that's what we've got. And to be honest with you, you need like 30 minutes to install everything from scratch without with the Windows style experience, like clicking next, and that's it. Yes, so it's really for all of you who are afraid of terminal and hate this different commands and so on. You should not be afraid to jump into Red Hat Hyperconverged, because it's really easy to start. Okay, so when we are talking about this bundle like Rev and Gluster, you may think that okay, we've got storage and we've got a virtualization platform, so we need to manage both of them in parallel, some kind of like two different consoles or something like that. No, in this case, yes, for you, everything what you need actually is inside Red Hat Virtualization Manager console, admin console. Yes? So you've got everything there. You can manage your Gluster together with standard operations around the virtualization. So that's the very good benefit. Yeah? So you don't need two different consoles to be able to manage both.
We lately introduced also our integration from the backup VM backup tab in a pattern fly.
Okay.
So I can imagine, we haven't tested with the Hyperconverged, but I can believe it will be naturally work with this setup.
Yeah, of course, because this is exactly the same console, admin console, as you've got with Rev or Ovid. Yeah, that's actually the same. And as I mentioned previously, Gluster, Rev, and also Ansible is one of the key things to to start the installation, to then proceed with all the scaling and so on mechanism. One more thing which I would like to introduce also, maybe some of you already know this feature, like a video, which is already introduced in Red Hat Enterprise Linux for a while.
But believe me, many times when I speak with the customers or the partners, they don't know it. I don't know why. Okay. But I think 2 years ago, Red Hat acquired a company called Permabit, and you have a inline deduplication with the compression. So it's actually video right now, virtual data optimizer.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm prepared. I'm prepared.
You're good. You did your homework.
Thank you, sir.
So video is a hot topic, I would say. But most of you, if you know it already, most of you know it from Red Hat Enterprise Linux perspective. Yes? So if you have some kind of disks, images or whatever inside your RHEL, you're able to gain, to get benefits from this feature. Right now, we also introduce it to Gluster and to Red Hat Hyperconverged.
Okay, so two questions actually here. It's first one, 4K block, it's quite aggressive, small chunk to dedupe. So what about the performance? This is the first question to you. The next question is, because the Gluster itself, because of 3 nodes, I believe that we have 3 replicas of the data. So I can understand right now that the video taking all of the whole and having the global deduplication of every replica, yes?
Yep.
Okay.
Exactly. And regarding the performance, there are a few good blogs about, at least few, which I know, about this comparison, how your your system performs without video and with video, and those figures are pretty impressive, even with 4K block.
Okay, so I think I will ask you later on if we'll put on YouTube, so we'll put the links to this kind of the blogs.
Exactly.
I also have a really good experience because we're using the virtual data optimizer as a native dedupe and compression methods in our vProtect. So in most cases, our customers.
You've got a lot of.
Yeah, I don't want to show off that I know more than you here, but I just want to confirm that.
I'm happy to admit.
I just want to confirm that in the last 2 years we have many of the good implementation. Never tested on the hyperconverged, to be honest, but I'm quite interested to have this comparison. Maybe I didn't read it, but I think most of the audience will be interested to have it. Okay.
I think so. So this is really hot topic, and please be aware that it's already introduced into Red Hat Hyperconverged.
So natively, we need to. Oh, it's by default. It's
by default. You can turn it on during the installation process.
Good.
Then the next feature for Gluster basically is also replication or geo-replication. We name it in Gluster. So having this feature, you can also geo-replicate or replicate asynchronously, of course, your data between your site A, where you've got your Red Hat Hyperconverged, and site B, where you have your storage. Yes, so like a backup storage. And then when it needs to be to change or to do the disaster recovery, you are able to do it. Even with Red Hat Virtualization, we already implemented this feature for active backup disaster recovery scenarios. There are ready to be used playbooks for that. So putting it with together with hyperconverged, it's not a big deal. Yes, it's the same platform. It will take the same from both.
I think one of the also reasons to use hyperconverged is to get the remote offices, branch offices. So not only to simplify your data center, but have the ability to easily replicate and recover
from remote to central, or even from central to remote. This is also a case. It can be done because you can say what volumes will be replicated in which direction, and then recovered.
But this site to site is based on the Gluster. So it's a Gluster native
feature, which you can also even configure from the interface of Red Hat Virtualization. Actually, in this case, hyperconverged one. One more thing which I would like to mention is vGPUs, which is quite new thing for Rev even, and also for Red Hat Hyperconverged. When you need some more power in terms of graphical use cases, I would say. Yeah. So right now with Rev and also with Hyperconverged, you can easily put NVIDIA cards, because right now with KVM, NVIDIA's are only supported up, as my knowledge is up to date, I believe so.
Really? Right now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So NVIDIA just contribute with all the needed drivers and so on for the kernel, and with KVM they already certified their GPUs to be able to use this feature natively with Red Hat Hyperconverged and Red Hat Virtualization. So you can also use your branch office installation, like free node of Hyperconverged, to be able to deliver kind of, let's say, really powerful virtual desktops even for
this is one of the questions that I want to put here is, what about the VDIs, virtual desktop infrastructure? So I'm guessing is the one of the features that should, let's say, move your customers into this area, yes?
It can be, but To be honest, I mean, in Rev doesn't position itself, or we doesn't position
Okay.
Rev as a
VDI,
100%
okay.
VDI solution. You've got some features inside. You are not limited only with Rev or Hyperconverged to run a server workload on top of it. So this needs to be understood. But we add more and more features to it, and the vGPUs is one of the most demanding one. Yeah?
Okay.
Okay, let's carry on. So I've got the demo, and what I would like to say and what I would like to show you today is just an overview of what you've got. What is the difference between Red Hat Hyperconverged and Rev in terms of the operational, like,
because I think one of the questions that many people will ask, okay, what's the major difference between putting all the things together? Again, is the, let's say, ready deployed configuration that you have it, yes? Yeah. So one of the answers is because it's actually separate part number, I guess.
Yes.
It's also supported by the box, yes?
Very good point. So if you would like, from the Red Hat perspective and from a support perspective, you need to be aware that if you would like to get a support, you need to purchase a separate SKU, product, which is Red Hat Hyperconverged. You cannot just compose both together or just put together Gluster and Red Hat Virtualization. It's not supported in that way.
Okay.
So you need to be aware that from the support perspective, you need to purchase a separate product.
Okay.
Which will in turn give you Rev and Gluster underneath. Okay, so let me show you my demo. I hope it's still working.
Oh, it must work. Everybody's waiting for it. So
yeah, I know it. Okay, so what I've got here.
I got many comments. Is boring. So you need to, have a wow effect.
Okay, so as you can see, this is my Red Hat Virtualization Manager, and this is pretty much standard one. Yes, you don't have a lot of difference in terms of a UI in here. But the thing is that if you can see, there is one more which is not normally used here, which is the Gluster volumes. And when we click on it, we will see our volumes, which are already created during the installation process on the on our Red Hat Rev hosts, basically. Yes, so we've got this Gluster process working on our hypervisors, and all the replicas are here. We've got our counting, so how many bricks are put together to compose this volume, like this engine or this VM store volume. We know that those are replicated here. We can just get a little bit deeper into it, how many replicas we've got, how many bricks we've got underneath, and how they are cutted, basically. So those are just volumes, LVM volumes on each of my Red Hat virtualization host. Yes, so this is how we put together a volume and spread it across different nodes.
And it's by default, so you didn't need to configure it. It was during the deployment. Yes,
yeah, exactly. Okay. This is what you need actually. The requirements for the deployment is to have 3 nodes already installed. So you need to have this Red Hat virtualization host already be there, and exchange SSH keys between them. Yeah? So okay. That's actually what you need to do, and you are able to run successfully the deployment from one of them using, guess what, Cockpit. Yes. So if I'm gonna able to show you the Cockpit here, which I should have right now. I don't know if all of you are aware of Cockpit. What is it, and how you can proceed with it. So Cockpit is it's not new. It was already with RHEL 7 for quite a while. I mean, like 2 years or maybe even more. So this is an graphical user interface for your Red Hat Enterprise Linux. So whenever you install your RHEL, you're able to install Cockpit into it, and you're able to log in with port 9090 on top of it with root access, root user and password, and you will get all the metrics, all the needed data. You can even configure networking here. You can even do some other things like firewall configuration, like subscription management on top of one server. Yes, so this is like a graphical user interface for your Red Hat Enterprise Linux, and this actually what we use. This is what we actually use for our virtualization to be run. Yes, so whenever we would like to install it, we are as I've got already this installed. If you just log into it and see this screen as a vanilla one, means that you will get the question if you would like to install just ref or Red Hat Hyperconverged. And then if you go with Red Hat Hyperconverged, you've got like twice much questions to answer, and you need to just provide your bricks. You need to, how big your volume's gonna be, how many volumes you would like to start, what are the names of your volumes, and so on and so forth. Just put these figures inside the form, click next, click start, and then your cluster will be up and running in a few minutes by default without any problems. Yes? So then installation of the hosted engine, and you are able to.
So I can imagine that from the cockpit you can extend your existing it's too difficult. Red Hat infrastructure, hyperconverged infrastructure.
You
to monitor.
You can install it.
Okay.
You do the initial step when there is a need for installation.
So you should go from the cockpit.
From the cockpit.
Okay.
This is the default. Of course, you can do all the magic with the command line. This is not forbidden, but to be honest with you, this is the a first and default step to install our Red Hat Virtualization and Red Hat Hyperconverged Infrastructure. And this is really clicking step by step. So it's not even half a sexy to show you the demo, but this is really really nice feature. And back to the Red Hat Virtualization, what we need to, or what we can also do is, as you can see, we can do a snapshotting on top of Gluster. So you can say, I would like to start a snapshot or do the snapshot on top of my VM store, the entire one. Yes, so we can do it.
So it's related to the storage itself, not to the VM.
Yes, of course. Yes, of course. It's related to the storage itself. And with geo-replication, we can also configure it from here. Yes, so if you would like to replicate 1, 2, maybe all of your volumes from the main one to the like a DR or disaster recovery site, you can easily do it with Gluster from here.
So let's take the example. We have 4 branches, 1 data center, so we can put many replica or many to one. Yes, so data center will collect all of the data stores or storages from the remote.
We can choose what kind of volume we would like to geo-replicate, and there are already Ansible based mechanisms to do the failover and failback scenario, to automate it. So you can easily automate them. We've got already prepared a bunch of roles for that. So if you would like to just go a little bit deeper into it, I encourage you to search for it inside Ansible Galaxy role repository. You will definitely find some good things in this topic there.
Okay, so we can see 2 different. So coming back, cockpit from the deployment.
Yes. And
for the extension, if you would like to put more and more hosts actually to our infrastructure. And for the daily basis, we use in native Red Hat Virtualization, but with the Gluster itself. Yes, with the geo-replication and the snapshot. I just want to catch up, to understand what you're saying here. Okay, good.
So
what else, my friend?
What else? I would like to just wrap up here about what we just said. So please remember a few things. I will count online. Yeah. So the first one, if you would like to run Red Hat Hyperconverged with Red Hat, you need to purchase a separate SKU.
Okay.
Yes, so it's not like a ref.
So do not try to combine Gluster and Red Hat.
No.
Just have a separate license.
It will work.
Okay.
But from the support perspective, it's not supported. Okay. Yes. So to be on the safe side, contact Red Hat and say, I would like to go with Hyperconverged, and we will know what to do. Yes. Mm-hmm. So we will just guide you. The second thing, this kind of infrastructure, when we talk about Red Hat Hyperconverged for virtualization, is let's say dedicated for relatively small deployments for branch offices, so you can grow up to 12 nodes in one deployment.
Okay.
So this is the second thing.
You still need to extend per 3 per
yeah.
the par.
Yeah,
so the 3, 6, 9, 12.
Exactly,
okay.
Exactly like that. And then you extend also your Gluster. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Then when it comes to the managing stuff, you've got one single pane of glass, which is your Red Hat Virtualization admin console. Yes? So this is what we just showed you. And last thing, which I will also would like to put some attention on it, is the cost. So imagine if you need to equip your company with proper hypervisor hardware, like proper servers, then you need to attach additional storage into it. It costs a lot. Yes? So maybe sometimes, or most of the time, it's much better to just add more spindles into your existing hypervisor hardware, and then spread it or utilize it with Gluster Storage, which is already proven and it's for a long time in the market. Yes? So it's already very good technology.
How we can start to play with, how we can easily download. So it's for the trial.
For the trial, you've got an option from the access.redhat.com.
Okay.
You can easily set up your account there, even if you don't have any kind of subscription, and just get a trial from there, or just contact your Red Hat representative, and then we will guide you how to do it. Okay,
major. So you talk about some pros. Let's talk about some cons. So where
cons.
Yeah, no, don't say that. I know. Where you should consider, let's say, do not go into the hyperconverged, but thinking about the typical, let's say, Gluster or the Ceph with the Red Hat virtualization. So when we should say, okay, maybe it's not the best fit.
Yes,
for this.
This is what you need to do. This homework you need to do before you decide where to go. Yes? So if you think that your environment will be relatively small at the very beginning, but you look at it as a main solution for the, let's say, like a few years at least, and you think about it as it's going to grow because of the workload it can be attached to it or put on it. Don't go with hyperconverged. Yes.
Okay.
Then probably it's a better way to just spread storage and spread compute, because in this case, you can also imagine that if you want to grow storage in hyperconverged, and you don't want to grow compute because your computes are already, they fulfill your needs. In hyperconverged, you need to grow both. Yes. So if you have such a, thinking or thoughts that maybe at some point you will be you would like to grow more storage or more compute and not both together, then it would be maybe better to go with a traditional one. Yes, but It's up to you. It's everyone needs to do his own homework. Yeah?
I think so. In a minute, we'll go in a QA officially. So right now, I would like to. So I think just to in one sentence finalize the hyperconverged from the Red Hat. Let's try. Yeah.
Okay. In
one sentence.
Whoa, it's a challenge for me. So didn't start yet.
Go for it.
Hyperconverged is ref with Gluster combined together on one hardware, so you can save a lot from the storage perspective, and you've got one single pane of glass when it comes to the managing your entire solution for virtualization.
Okay. So we're closing the official presentation. Let's start the QA session right now.
Okay.
So thank you.
Thank you very much.